Okay, we have an exciting KeyReader devlog entry today. We're going to jump right into the demonstration and then we'll talk more after. Okay, so KeyReader, we have a merge request about screens. We've filled out the screens. Eric here has completed that part of the project. We're going to look at what we've got and Eric's going to tell us a bit about it. So we have still the basic text from the screens, but we have some components, right? So especially on the library screen. So yeah, what do we got here, Eric?
What we got here is about 4 hours of frustration for me to figure out what to do here. So we have I believe a flat list, which is a part of React Native. Excuse the immature titles of our books here, but it's the biggest motivator for me to learn and do this. But we passed through something we just did. We passed through the key button to navigate to the choose book screen, and as of right now it's still just a single screen. No matter what book you press on, it's still going to be the same screen no matter what, and that takes you to the reader and listener screen. But that list was a for loop that runs through the book list component, and that gives you each individual book, each individual item in that list. So
perfect. Yeah, so we have
for a noob to React, that was a tough nut to crack. But
no, it's good. Yeah, so we have like dummy data in here, and we're just passing in. We're expecting a list of books. Eventually, hopefully, we'll have real books here. But yeah, this is some good work and some great literature to choose from as well. So
I prefer living like Larry. It's a good read.
Larry the Lobster, great SpongeBob character. So awesome.
Underrated, if you ask me.
Yeah. So as you can tell, our software developer intern, Eric, has added placeholders for all components in the design, and the purpose, like the last video, was to flesh out what the app will look like. Here's a review of the design, the screens, the components, and the detail of the components in the design. Now we actually have those implemented, and wireframes for the reader and the listener. Now let's look at the actual code that was written. Okay, so we have the merge request here, whole bunch of changed files, whole bunch of new files, pretty much the entire components package is new, which was the purpose of this merge request. And at the top of the list, we have book lists. So Eric, do you want to walk us through what's going on in this file?
Sure. So at the top, we have a bunch of imports from React Native, nothing crazy to see here. The props is just so that we can have a button for each item of the list. So basically this whole component is just a flat list that loops through the dummy data we have here, which eventually is going to be a separate file somewhere else that we're going to be pulling from. But for now, it's just to test for functionality. So the props basically is just so we can have a button on each book item to take you to the choose book screen. Eventually, that's going to be a specific screen for each individual book, but for now it's just the default choose book screen. So we have a list of each book, or a list that shows each book as a separate item using the flat list, what would you call it, element from React? Yeah, so it uses the flat, what was it?
Component.
The flat list component from React Native. And that's basically it. It's just a list of each book. With a bunch of immature titles, if I do say so myself, but that's what keeps it fun.
Inspiring titles.
Appreciate it. That's a very positive way of putting it.
Okay, perfect. So that's great. Book list, probably the backbone of this MR, and then we get into.
Took me 4 hours to freaking figure it out.
4 hours, wow.
It was painful. That's what you get when you go from a JavaScript 101 course to trying to program components in React. It's a pretty rough transition.
Yeah. Definitely. So the book row is used in book list, and that's for each book it's getting its own, right? So I guess you have some key labels in here. Not too much else of note, right?
Yeah, I mean this is basically just a component that allows us to pull each book because the book model has the props of a title and an author, both of which are a string. So depending on what the book is, it's just going to give you the title of the book and the author of the book. I had it originally in bold. Well, the title was going to be in italics and the author was going to be in bold, I think, or the other way around. But I found out that I guess, what is it? Android does not like when you put HTML elements in there and it just explodes and cannot process it. So I had to scrap that. We'll come back to that and fix that later. But
Nice.
for now, it's just all normal text.
Cool. Good stuff. And key button and key label. I mentioned that I over-designed a little bit. These really add no value, but hey, maybe someday down the line they
You're
will.
too hard on yourself. You're too hard on yourself. I'm sure they'll be useful. Just don't worry.
If not, we can delete them. But so the listener screen, we have, this is going to be our, or not the screen, the component for the listener. So this is our audiobook listening interface, right? What do we got here?
I mean, really nothing too crazy right now. It's just a bunch of placeholder. So eventually when we do have a, what'd you call it, audio streaming, I don't know, like an audio player. Yeah, when we have an audio player component in here, these buttons are obviously going to pause, do exactly what the title implies. It's going to pause, go back 30 seconds, 10 seconds, etc. Right now, all it does is console log some obnoxious testing strings, but they work, and that's all that really matters for now. So
Perfect. Exactly what we wanted for this one, so that's good. Okay, reader, same idea, right? Just
yeah, basic information, what page number, percentage of how far you are in the book, percentage-wise, the body of the book, title, just basic stuff.
nice. And this is where we'll see the actual book text, and we'll hit next in previous page. So this is where we'll do our reading. Good stuff. So the book model, just holding data, nothing special there. And as we get into the screens, I think this is all just tweaks, if I'm not mistaken, right? What else?
Yeah, nothing crazy here. Just integrating the components into the screens to just to flesh them out more.
Nice.
So basically, just all the components that were created, we just added them to the already existing screens.
Perfect.
I think that's pretty much it.
Awesome.
It's kind of great we did this review because last week was just a blur of coding, so I'm happy I actually get to sit down and look at what I did.
Awesome. Glad we could pull it together, and
yeah,
thanks for working on this. So,
of course,
the first outside contributor to PageKey, very exciting.
I'm honored.
Tech.
It's a privilege and an honor.
All right, so I think we need to corporatize this. We've reviewed with management.
Apologies. That is not professional. I should really know better. That's rather inappropriate.
We can't have poops in this app, so sorry. It was a management decision. We, PR and all that. So all right.
I just want to formally release an apology. As an intern for PageKey Solutions, my behavior was totally unacceptable, and I just want to let the world know that I have reflected upon my actions, and they do not represent the values of this company. So that is my formal press release.
Thanks for that. Okay, perfect. Here we go. Here we go.
Oh boy, moment of truth.
Here we go.
Yay!
And that pretty much wraps it up for devlog 3 of KeyReader. Thanks for watching.